I'm guessing you probably don't remember those white-only signs from the 1950s because that kind of racism is long gone, right? Just imagine the uproar if somehow or somewhere they made a comeback. Well, recently, this picture went viral all over Twitter, so I began researching the issue to see whether it's actually a serious problem in our capital. It seems that every website that was advertising properties for rent had multiple options for Muslims or Asians only. I first saw it on the transportation network with posters advertising homes for Muslims. I saw it on this Gumtree ad asking specifically for Muslim tenants. Actually, I saw it everywhere. Now, most of these examples were discovered in some of the most ethnically diverse areas of London, places like Mile End and Whitechapel. The adverts demanded Muslim or Bangladeshi families only, as if white Christians in London aren't also struggling to find an affordable place to live. And I'm not the first one to notice this disgusting racism either. An investigation by the Daily Star found that at least 200 property adverts on websites like Gumtree which specifically asked for Muslims only. Isn't this discrimination? Where the hell is the outrage? But if this couldn't be any worse, it turns out that there are actually official housing associations that operate to specifically help Muslims and ethnic minorities. So I called one of these so-called housing associations to see if they could find any housing for my white Christian friend of the East End.
Hi, I'm just looking for housing options for a neighbour of mine. I know it says for ethnic minorities. Do you have any for non-ethnic minorities? This guy's just a East Ender.
Oh yeah, we offer it to anyone, but we don't have anything available.
Okay, so apparently there's nothing available, so now we're going to call up as a young Muslim girl looking for accommodation in London.
Hi, how can I help?
Hi, I just broke up with my boyfriend and I just kind of became a bit homeless and I don't really have anywhere to stay at the moment. So I was just wondering and apparently you guys cater to like Muslims, so I was just wondering if you have any like accommodation available around Whitechapel.
No, we don't. We only operate in South East London.
Do you reckon if I was to move to that area, do you think it would be easy for me to kind of maybe get in touch and see if I could get somewhere around there?
Yes, but you'd have to apply through the council.
Through the council?
So that was, yeah.
How strange. Now, if you can brush past the absolute horror of this story, it's actually quite ironic because the white British are actually an ethnic minority in London, according to most recent statistics. 6 years ago, whites in London made up 43% of the population, but somehow this doesn't mean that they're entitled to help as an ethnic minority group. I wonder why that is. When a Muslim landlord was contacted about his advertisement for Muslim-only tenants, he said that he would rather or prefer to share a property with someone who has the same habits as him. Well, perhaps you think that's perfectly reasonable. But even if it is, it's completely unacceptable in a society that constantly tells white people that their mere existence is racist. The double standards are astonishing. Just imagine if a white landlord said that most of his friends are black, but he'd much prefer to have a white family in his home because, you know, they share the same habits as him. Well, that is beyond racist and probably a hate crime worth several years in prison. Not to mention, Gumtree would probably remove the advert, and the Mayor of London would probably blow a gasket. Oh, and I think it's also worth mentioning that no matter how hard I searched, I couldn't find a single advertising for whites or Christian-only tenants. Nor did I find any organisations that served only the interest of white people looking for homes. And I don't think I will anytime soon.
Thanks for watching. If you like that and you want to see more, then click like and subscribe.